Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome back to the channel. I have with us a special guest.
Assalamu alaikum.
Aman.
Aman Salas. Yes.
We have with us another convert. So I just want to ask a couple questions on that whole story. So before you were a Muslim, what were you?
I was born into like a family where my mom was culturally Muslim, you could say, but missing the important part and not really believing in God. And my dad, again, was born Catholic. Again, super just cultural. Only went to church on like my cousin's first communion or something like that. But just generally, we were like agnostic. So they're just not religious. Yeah.
So like your dad was Christian and your mom was Muslim. So what were you?
I'm just agnostic. I can't like even say that I was anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you like see God or like see religion in that time period? Like, did you like kind of believe in it or not really?
Not really. Where I grew up, Chicago, like sort of, especially like the part of Chicago I was in, it was super like, I wasn't in like the part it's known for, the dangerous side exactly. I wasn't in the rich side either, so it's just like very average.
Yeah.
But, you know, it being a city, a big city in the north, you know, it's very progressive and all that. So, you know, you have a lot of atheists, you have a lot of people who say, you know, religion sort of builds a lot of hate and, you know, excludes people a lot. So, you know, you get born into that. I wouldn't say anybody really tried to push that in my head or indoctrinate it in me, but it was just kind of like something that was assumed at like growing up, something that people understood. It was kind of like, you could say, weird to be religious in my elementary school.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. What about like you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother.
Does it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. How old is he?
He is 16.
And how old are you?
I'm 20.
Oh, okay, mashallah. Is he religious?
He is. He is.
Oh, okay.
No. Inshallah, though. You know?
Inshallah. Cool. What about any of like your family, like outside of the immediate?
Yeah, outside the immediate family. Actually, that's where it gets interesting because my cousins are very religious. Not all of them. I have like two extremes, like on my mom's side and the Muslim side. Her brother, very religious, along with his kids. They're both pretty religious. Like, you know, I look up to them. That side of the family, this certain part, like on the way they're on their deen and they're very like focused and in their religion. It's super respectable.
Are they also in Chicago?
No, they're not.
Where they at?
My uncle's still in Pakistan, and his kids are. One of them just finished school in Canada. One of them is currently in school in BU in Boston. So.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I think your mom's side is Pakistani.
Correct.
Your dad's side, Mexican.
Yeah, the Mexican. I have some. I would say my dad's side. I would say they're all Catholics. They all say they are. Not a lot. A good majority of them don't even go to church. Religion is not a big staple in their mind, but I do think they believe in Catholicism and agree with the principles and teachings. And I do have like a couple of cousins who are more religious. Like I hear about them going to church and stuff, and actually like praying and stuff. So yeah, there's that side. Yeah.
So how did you kind of start to go from being agnostic to Muslim?
It happened. I think that I decided, I made a decision, not thinking about the consequences, leaving home. I had a lot of people telling me, hey, like, once you go on your own, like, everything's on you, like, that's hard. And part of me was like, nope, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to become independent. Like, it's what I want. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of depending on my parents. And that's a lot for a 19-year-old, I guess some people could say. But I felt the need for it. So I kind of followed my heart. There's a couple reasons why I moved here from Chicago. But, I just keep that. It's too much to say in one. But, yeah, it's just I had my reasons coming here. I have a cousin here. and he is very religious along with his wife, mashallah. Yeah, and I realized that when I came here, that those are going to be like my only people who I had literally physically.
Like here, as in Dallas.
As in Dallas,
Yeah.
yeah. So there was that, and I didn't think about religion when I made this decision, but something in my heart told me to make this decision to move here. And when I moved here, it came in phases with developing like people that what am I going to be doing? Am I going to be going to school and working? Am I going to be just working? Am I just be going to school? Money wise, that gets super tight. You know, a lot of life gets thrown on you. You know, sort of like periods where you don't know where you're going to live, like a lot of difficult, like real life growing up situations. Oh, you have to pay for this. Oh, like you forgot to do this because, you know, you're just a kid and you don't understand certain things. So a lot of growing up and a lot of growing up fast. So once you take on a lot of responsibility as a man, like, you don't really have a way out, you know? So you're really stuck on, you got to figure it out. You can keep running for your problems, but, you know, it never works. You better face up, you know?
Yeah.
You have to face up. So part of that is taking on a lot of anxiety and stress. And when you don't have a lot of responsibility, I guess it's easier to be non-religious because you don't take on as much anxiety and stress, and other people are taking on it for you. So you're not really held accountable for your actions in a tangible way. Now you are responsible for your actions overall, and I've seen that and I've realized that, but you don't notice it. Like if you're lazy for like a week but you're still living off your parents are going to notice that, but you're not, because they're the ones actually paying. Yeah, so if you're feeling bad about yourself, then you go spend a lot of their money. Like, you're not going to feel it, but they are.
Yeah.
So you really are having an effect on yourself. You just don't even realize it, and you're too zoned out of real life to realize it. So yeah, let me fast forward a little bit, but basically what happened was when life got super hard, I really depended on my cousin for a lot, and he helped me a lot. You know, I owe a lot to him, or just the way that Allah used him to help me. And he took me to the mosque a couple of times, and that's kind of where it started. And this sort of picture that had been painted before, that religious people are super judgy. Don't get me wrong, there's people who are maybe too judgy in the masjid once in a while. Like, these things happen, but the thing that's missing is that you forget that when you walk into a masjid, you know, I'm going to say like 99.9% of the time you're greeted with a smile and assalamu alaikum, and just a place to worship, and people who are trying, like, that counts for something. Like, if you just gave up, that's different. People are trying, even if they make mistakes, you're trying, you know, you're trying to do something, you know, good and for the better, you know, for the better, for the greater good, you know, because you're not worried about you. You're not in the masjid because of a person. You're in the masjid because of Allah, you know, and it's something bigger. And that was my start and opening my eyes to it. And, you know, the big thing is prayer, like salah. Like, that's what started. That's the big thing. That's the main thing. Because, you know, I learned to pray a little bit, and then, like, slowly through learning more, and then learning the times and the names and how to do it, and then also making dua. That's when it sort of started jumping out at me, and because it just started working. You know, you hit your prayers on time, the day goes better, you start structuring your life around the prayer, and your life just changes drastically. So that was the big change, and that was what you could say, like, the most important thing.
So what do you think made you, like, want to agree to come to the mosque in the first place whenever your cousin invited you?
I wasn't too hesitant, but I noticed that his character was very, very good, and I noticed that he is, you know, successful, not just money-wise, like, alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed him, but he is also successful as a person, having a wife the right way, you know, good to people, honest, right? These things I admired, and he helped me a lot, so I'm looking up to this guy, right? Just in a sense, like an older brother sort of way. So when he told me, he's like, yo, it's all Allah. I was like, bro, like, what do you mean? Like, you know, me, like, I'm not able to think, like, bro, take some credit. Like, dude, look what you have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is nice. Yeah. He's like, no, bro. He's like, trust me. Like, I just started getting more religious, and God just keeps rewarding me. He's like, I promise. He's like, I'm not lying to you, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Like, that's not how you got, like, rich. Right? He's like, yeah. He's like, you don't want to believe me. He's like, just come to the mosque. I'm like, all right. Like, I don't have anything. And at that point, I had been humbled so hard that I don't have anything to bring to the table. I'm like, let's just be really honest here. Like, I was just dead broke. Not much to me. Like, you know what I mean? You know, we're all in a process, especially when you're young. You don't really have much to your name. But at that point, I was really like, whoa. Like, stuff was low, right, for me. Just generally, not even just money wise, but just in general, like the way I was living my life. So, just the fact that somebody could achieve a lot, you know, and just be like, it wasn't me. It's like, whoa, like that's a big shocker. You know what I mean? I hate to say this, but I feel like if it had been different or somebody else who is of lesser character, who has achieved less, then maybe I wouldn't have taken it seriously. But, you know, I guess Allah blesses the people that, you know, give it all up for him. So that was the main thing.
And how you said that, like, you saw major changes once you started to, like, kind of do the prayers and the and making du'a. So, like, what kind of changes did you, like, see?
Well, it would be like times where it's like, okay, I have to pray, but then I also have to do this thing for work, or I have to get this homework in time. Yeah. But it's like every time I was like, no, I believe in Allah. Allah said don't delay the prayer for anything worldly, right? So I would just be like, you know what? God's never let me down. Let me just do the prayer. He would just fix it. It'd be like, oh, the homework assignment would get pushed a day back. I feel like stuff like that would happen. Or like my boss would be mad, but it just ended up with him chilling out, and then me and him got on better terms. Like it wasn't like it was never like oh, I prayed and then something bad happened and then it worsened my life. Even if it was bad in the moment, then it just got better in the end. I was like, well, I didn't even need that anyway. It's like, you know, just like no compromise, like that you will, like, no matter how much your brain can't even fathom. You're like, no, this doesn't make sense. Like it's telling me to pray, no, but like right now there's like $1,000 if I just walk 2 blocks, but I'm gonna miss prayer. It's like the way that Allah has like blessed me. It's like, dude, I'm gonna do the prayer. Like it's just not even a question. And like that's like, it's just so weird to say that because I just couldn't imagine myself saying that like even a year ago. Yeah. So yeah.
You've been Muslim for. What?
It's coming on like 11 months.
MashaAllah. So it's April 2023, so that was like June of 2022?
Yeah, around there.
MashaAllah.
I want to say early June.
What do you think was the thing that like made you say, all right, bet I'm going to convert. I'm going to take my shahada?
It was like, to be honest, I didn't know what that was at the time. But, like, I thought you were just like, okay, I'm Muslim now. Like, I didn't realize that, you know, I had to pronounce it and everything.
Oh, so you kind of, like, ease your way into it, sort of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I was at the mosque a lot. And then I was praying before, but I didn't have wuzu or anything. I didn't know how, but then I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, so it was kind of a process. So I don't want to say there's probably a couple moments where I was like, oh, yeah, God is real, right? Like, well, like, you know, just like, man, it's just not a coincidence anymore. Like it never was, but it felt like before. And then now you're like, yeah, it's like too many crises that got saved when I begged for mercy, and didn't from a person, but I did from like, you know, and that was the turning point for me. That was probably the big thing when I just like, you know, really had clarity. But I wouldn't boil it down to a moment. I don't think I could, to be fair.
Yeah. How's your parents taking it, you being Muslim?
They're both supportive, I'll say generally. There are times where I feel like both my parents are a little bit like skeptical, like, oh, don't get radicalized, and I don't know, certain things, right? Like, you know, maybe a couple jokes here and there, but my parents are good people, alhamdulillah. So, yeah, you know, they are generally supportive. You know, I get a Eid Mubarak from them. You know, I get a, you know, proud of you. Like, I get that. So I'm grateful for that. But inshallah, you know, I'm not going to say that they're 100% like, whoo, you know, like, you know. But I'll say that they are supportive. Like I feel safe saying that.
Has like this first year of you being Muslim been like kind of like hard adjustment? Or...
Yeah, I mean you could say, but it's just not comparable to like when I get out of it. Like I'm not like okay, the fasting is hard, but you sort of forget about that when you remember like how grateful you are now.
Yeah.
Like you forget what it's like without Allah. Like before, it's like you were suffering. I was suffering so much. Like it didn't. Like your brain runs amok. Like Allah's still in charge when you're not Muslim. Like he's still, like bro, he's still running everything, right? You just don't think he is, so you don't have a peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
It's like yeah. Like I think we talked about this before. You never see an atheist when the plane's gonna go down. They're all like, "Oh, somebody save me!" Who's somebody, bro? Like, come on, you're panicking because you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But at least we admit that we don't know what to do. You know, so there's that. It's really, really like that has lifted way too much off my shoulder. It's not even worth being like, "Oh, this is hard." Like, it's hard, yeah, it's hard. But you think it's gonna be easy? Like,
yeah.
It's not meant to be easy. Otherwise, everyone would do it, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, Islam, it's not really here to bring happiness into your life. It's here to bring, you know, peace into your life, to bring contentment. Right. You know, being content with what Allah has given you and with the, you know, the circumstances. So, yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
You gonna say something?
I'm gonna say, like, you're not comfortable fasting, right? Like, you're not like, oh, this is the best time in the world, but you kind of are, because you don't even realize, like, until after, you're like, well, like, yeah, it was hard, but, like, now I feel good. Like, I just feel good. People are like, how do you feel good not eating? It's like, well, you have to do it to understand, you know? You have to do it for the right reason. I wouldn't just fast because, like, some guy's like, hey, bro, you should fast. I'm gonna be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna fast. I mean, who are you? Yeah. Allah tells me fast, bro. Like, yeah, duh. He made all this, right? So, who am I, right?
Yeah.
And he's right. And then the day I liked it. Like, you just.
Do you think that that you would have gotten like similar life-changing results if like one of your Christian cousins had brought you to a church and then you would have gone down that path?
That's a hard one, but I don't see it that way. Like, I don't. Islam isn't like I don't group it. Like, I'm not like, oh, like, there's working out, and then there's Islam, and then there's drinking juice. Like, it's not like another thing. So I don't think of it as like I could have gone down Christianity or I could have gone down Islam. I think I got blessed with Islam, and I won't speak on Christianity because not in a bad or a good way, but it's just because like I didn't, you know, like, and I just feel grateful that Allah like allowed me to be Muslim, you know. And it's like, not that mosques aren't sacred places and beautiful places that we should preserve, but like more about God than just like the physical actual building of a mosque, right? Like, of course, and again, it's like I love the mosque, right? But I'm just saying, like, beyond that, like just the concept of one God, that's just more important to me. Like this is like the thing that I fell in love with, and I don't think any other religion, whether it be Christianity, whatever it is, yeah, again, no disrespect, but I just don't. I'm not gonna get that.
Yeah. I'm
not gonna get that anywhere else. And I don't mean anywhere else mosque. I mean like anywhere else like Allah.
Like another religion, yeah. I get that. Cool. I appreciate you doing the interview with me. My boy.
Appreciate it.
Habibi.
Always Habibi.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So I'll catch y'all in another video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.